Welcome to Biggest Spoilers, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital Willow Tate's not shamefaced verdict stuns Port Charles Monday, January 19th. We've got Trina Robinson telling Kai that Willow Tate going free may not be so terrible. So, we'll hear to why. I mean, I suppose the only terrible thing is that she didn't do a good enough job shooting him. That seems to be the agreement of suckers. Plus, Sonny Corinthos drops by Alexis Davis's and Diane Miller's office and exchanges with the receptionist. He finds out both are in court and that Willow's verdict came by. Sonny is hoping that Willow is acquitted for everyone's sake. In court, we're going to pick up from Friday's occasion right after Willow's not shamefaced verdict stunned everybody. Michael Corinthos, of course, is distraught that Willow isn't going to captivity. He's upset he'll be indicted now and that he's going to have to let her around the kiddies. And of course, he knows what she did to Daisy and Sasha Gilmore, which not a lot of other people know. So, he's got good reasons to be concerned. After getting that not shamefaced verdict while still in the courtroom, Alexis demands that Drew Kane Quartermain give her what he promised, which is access to Scout Kane. Plus, Nina Reeves gets a warning from Drew, and it's perhaps do'nt try and resolve me and Willow up. We're together ever. I suppose Nina is going to do it anyway and isn't going to hear to anything Drew says. Dante Falconeri's police dilemma and Anna Devane's haunted history on Dante is going to be torn. He's got this awful dilemma because he may be called on in his part as acting police manager to probe Michael. Plus, DA Justine Turner is hanging Harrison Chase with captivity over what she calls his hindrance. It sounds like Turner is trying to condemn Chase for the footage of Willow fading. Sonny makes a cryptic offer to someone and he's assuring Michael that he's not going to let him go down for Drew's firing. Eventually, on Monday, Anna Devane is horror-struck. She's going to hear Caesar Faison's voice saying, "My Anna, you could no way be relieved of me." That is, by the way, Anders Hof's voice. They got him to do the voiceover. No word if we're going to actually see him, but we're legal hearing him. Also on Tuesday, January 20th, we've got Elizabeth Weber and Lucas Jones springing into action. This sounds like a medical exigency at General Hospital and that means Notoriety's life may hang in the balance. Trina opens up to Ava Jerome and it could be about her knowing that Willow shot Drew. Romantic dates and pressures rise in Port Charles on General Hospital. Britt Westbourne asks Jason Morgan out on a date. Of course, he'll say yes and also Britt can get that kiss she won, perhaps a little further. Plus, Michael and Chase run into each other after Willow's verdict is out and effects are tense. I do wonder if Chase may say that he knows Michael did it and he didn't get down with framing Willow. I mean, this could get really, really tense. Plus, Director Cullum issues new orders. That's the Joe who's the big master at the WSB that Jack Brennan doesn't like. Of course, Cullum is conspiring with Sidwell and acting like he wants Anna to vanish. So, I'm sure his new orders are about the exploration progress on Faison's work and / Anna. Wednesday, January 21st, we've got Kai getting some advice from Nina, and I'm curious to see if he confides in her about Willow or just about Drew. Commodity intimidating happens with Laura Spencer, and that could relate to that General Hospital medical extremity. We'll see because also on Wednesday, Lucas has to give heartbreaking news and that sounds like Notoriety might be dead. Special GH tribute to Tony Geary and Luke Spencer were heading into reaches, but not relatively yet. Jason gets an offer from Tracy Quartermain on Wednesday and John Brennan missions Jocelyn Jacks, presumably about Director Cullum. I suspect that Brennan doesn't trust his master, which is ironic because Joss doesn't trust her master. But they're going to talk about it. Thursday, January 22nd, we've got Jason suspicious of Notoriety. I wonder if Carly Corinthos Spencer is being coy since she's still hiding Valentine Cassadine. Emma wants Nathan West to help her. I suppose this is about chancing. Emma knows deep down that Commodity isn't right. Brooklyn Quartermain and Chase bandy their future on Thursday. He's suspended from the PCPD right now because of the Willow stuff. They had talked about espousing formerly her and Gio were in a better place, which they're now. So perhaps they're talking particular and professional. Lucas and Mario get a surprise. We'll see if it's a good one or a bad one. Notoriety tails Britt into a corner and it may be Mario, perhaps Sidwell. Well, heck, it could be Carly. Also, on Thursday, be sure to stick around until the end of the occasion because they're showing a special montage that's a homage to General Hospital legend, the late Tony Geary, who passed away December 14th. So, we're going to get lots of Luke Spencer stuff on Thursday. Sonny Corinthos manipulates Ava Jerome as General Hospital. February sweeps begin Friday, January 23rd. Sonny plays Ava. Looks like Sonny's going to weaponize her against Sidwell as he and Laura bandied with her. Hopefully being none the wiser. You know, it depends. However, she gets suckered in, if you're flattering Ava. That's how Sidwell's got his claws into her. Plus, Jordan Ashford makes prolusions, and this may be for notoriety that Sidwell wants to meet. Curtis Ashford is relieved, and it may be that he and his family are suspects in Drew's firing. He may worry about Michael going down for it, however. Jason is upset about Britt and says so. I wonder if he's talking to her or perhaps to Lisa Labrecht or indeed Brad Cooper. The week of January 26th through the 30th, we've got the onset on Thursday and Friday, the 29th and 30th, of February reaches. So this week, we're going to see Anna's situation getting further dangerous. We've got Cullum and Pascal and Sidwell using Phazon to afflict poor Anna. Effects are only going to get worse from then. Sounds like they kind of want to vanish her permanently. Dante Falconeri investigates Michael Corinthos and the WSB Devil's bargain on GH. Emma is going to partake her enterprises with Max Scorpio and Felicia Scorpio soon. We know that all three of them are in on a deliverance charge for Anna that I anticipate could come laterally in February reaches. D.A. Turner is going to push Dante to probe further. I'm sure that Turner wants to condemn notoriety because Drew's case was high profile since he's a Solon, and that means Michael may indeed face PCPD scrutiny. The DA is also going to be outraged and we'll see if Chase faces farther conduct on top of his suspense. Valentine and Sidwell are going to have a converse soon and they could make a devil's bargain. Brennan is a problem for Sidwell and also for Cullum, but Sidwell is just as likely to turn Valentine over to the WSB director. We'll see if he wants him. He may want him on the loose timber trouble for Brennan. Sonny keeps manipulating Ava and also working to frame someone for Drew's firing. Justina is going to be on Sonny's radar when she goes after Michael. Willow wants access to her kitties and considers how to make that be. She also has to figure out how to move forward and deal with the husband she hates. You know, she wants to cut Drew loose, but she's got to make sure everything is perfect first. Plus, Brennan's reservations about director Cullum grow. We may soon learn further about this Joe and whether Valentine is a concern for him and vice versa. There's a long list of people also out to discipline Drew for his colorful misdeeds. General Hospital spoilers allude that Solon Crooked, aka Drew Kane, could be in for a punishment. Who would take out the sleazy bad Joe? How about Muddy Jen Sidwell? In the January 13th GH occasion, Sidwell conceded that Drew may not be over to the job of being in his fund as a DC and PC Politico. To this, another hired hand and principally in profitable factory, Jordan Ashford, told Jens that as an tagged functionary, Drew can't be replaced with a snap of the fritters. Will Drew go bye-bye? Sidwell was having it and asserted that he gets what he wants. Sidwell is a redoubtable man, with important connections and a amenability to play in the slush. So, we've to believe that if Sidwell wants Drew gone, also Drew could face a fate analogous to that of Professor Dalton. Perhaps not as fatal a fate, but a downgrade in life nonetheless. What got Sidwell to allowing that Drew may not be each he needs in a stooge? His rearmost court capers went a long way toward persuading Jens that Drew is a loose cannon. And he has enough of those littering Windmere. Will Drew meet an analogous fate as Professor Dalton? Sidwell also has a vendetta against Sonny Corinthos, so he could try to kill Drew and frame Michael Corinthos for the crime. But Sidwell might decide to keep his hands clean and simply remove Drew from office. That wouldn't be too hard seeing as how Drew is despised in PC and a disgrace to much of the town. Should Jordan be upset about Sidwell? Not only is Drew going off in public, he's also chafing against Sidwell's demands, so it's telling that Sidwell told Jordan that he thinks of Drew as a liability. Sidwell doesn't play, so if he has spoken of disliking Drew, chances are he has been allowing about ways to neutralize him. Red Hot General Hospital spoilers tease that Sidwell cannot be undervalued. Will this mean curtains for Drew? Sidwell wants a pious speed, and there are dozens of dirty looks who would jump at a chance to get into a theoretical bed with Jens. Do you suppose that Ava Jerome is one of those people? Port Charles is no stranger to chaos, but the aftershocks of Willow Tate's not guilty verdict feel different, heavier, sharper, almost ceremonial in their impact. This is not simply the end of a trial. It is the beginning of a baptism by fire for nearly everyone involved. Truths long buried begin to surface, alliances strain under pressure, and vengeance simmers just beneath polite smiles. When the verdict is read, the courtroom does not erupt in celebration or outrage. Instead, it freezes. Breath catches. Eyes widen. In that suspended moment, it becomes painfully clear that justice, in Port Charles, is rarely clean, and never final. Willow walks free, but no one is untouched. Willow Tate leaves the courthouse a free woman, yet the cost of that freedom reverberates outward like a shockwave. Some see her acquittal as mercy. Others see it as a catastrophic failure of the system. And still others quietly believe the only tragedy is that Drew Cain survived it all. Trina Robinson, ever the voice of thoughtful restraint, offers Kai a perspective that cuts through the hysteria. Willow's freedom, she suggests, may not be the disaster everyone fears. Sometimes, she implies, living with the consequences of one's actions is a harsher sentence than any prison cell. Redemption, if it comes, must be earned in the open, not behind bars. That sentiment, however, is far from universal. Michael Corinthos, Fear, Fury, and the Weight of Secrets. No one feels the verdict more acutely than Michael Corinthos. While the courtroom empties and whispers swirl, Michael remains trapped in a private nightmare. Willow's freedom does not bring relief, it brings terror. He knows truths others do not. He knows what happened to Daisy. He knows what Sasha Gilmore endured. And he knows that if those secrets ever see daylight, the fallout will be devastating. Michael's fear is not just about public scrutiny or legal consequences. It is deeply personal. Willow, acquitted, now has a path back into the lives of their children. The idea that he may be forced to share space, holidays, and decisions with the woman he believes capable of such harm is almost unbearable. Every instinct tells him danger is not over, it has simply changed shape. Sonny Corinthos makes quiet moves. While Michael spirals, Sonny Corinthos moves with calculated calm. A visit to Alexis Davis and Diane Miller's office reveals the verdict has already landed. Sonny's reaction is measured, almost philosophical. For everyone's sake, he had hoped Willow would be cleared. Yet beneath that hope lies strategy. Sonny is not a man who leaves his son exposed. Behind closed doors, he offers Michael reassurance, cryptic, deliberate, and unmistakably ominous. Whatever forces are circling, Sonny promises they will not be allowed to destroy Michael. Whether that means protection, manipulation, or framing someone else entirely remains an open question. In Port Charles, safety often comes at someone else's expense. Alexis demands her due, Drew issues warnings. The moment the verdict is read, Alexis Davis pivots. Promises were made, and she intends to collect. Drew Cain Quartermain is confronted with the reality of his bargains as Alexis insists on access to Scout Cain, immediately. No delays. No excuses. Drew, already rattled, attempts to reassert control elsewhere by issuing a warning to Nina Reeves. His message is blunt: stay out of his marriage, stay away from Willow, and accept that they are united, for life. Nina, however, has never been one to retreat simply because she is told to. If anything, Drew's warning only confirms that interference will be necessary. Nina does not believe Willow and Drew's bond is unbreakable. She believes it is built on lies, and lies always crack. Dante Falconeri's impossible choice. As acting police commissioner, Dante Falconeri finds himself staring into an ethical abyss. Evidence, pressure from the DA, and political optics all point toward a renewed investigation, one that could land squarely on Michael Corinthos. Dante's conflict is profound. His badge demands impartiality. His heart recognizes the power dynamics at play. And looming over everything is DA Justine Turner, whose hunger for accountability borders on obsession. Turner's wrath soon turns toward Harrison Chase, whom she accuses of interfering with justice. The missing footage, Willow's disappearance, and the public embarrassment of the case have left her furious. Prison time is no longer an abstract threat, it is a lever she is prepared to pull. Anna Devane and the ghost that will not die. Elsewhere, terror takes a more psychological form. Anna Devane is blindsided when a familiar voice invades her consciousness, smooth, taunting, unmistakable. Caesar Faison. Dead, yet not gone. His words echo like a curse, you could never truly be rid of me. Whether this is manipulation, technology, or something far more sinister, one thing is clear, Anna's past has returned with intent. Forces within the WSB are stirring, and not all of them want her protected. Some would prefer her erased. Director Cullum, shadowy and increasingly suspect, issues new directives. Research into Faison's work accelerates, and Anna's safety appears disturbingly negotiable. Medical crisis and emotional fallout. As the week unfolds, Port Charles is rocked by a sudden medical emergency. Elizabeth Weber and Lucas Jones spring into action as a life hangs in the balance. The crisis ripples outward, touching Laura Spencer and forcing Lucas to deliver devastating news that leaves loved ones shattered. Grief, fear, and unanswered questions converge, reminding everyone how fragile life truly is, even for those accustomed to danger. Romance, suspicion, and dangerous corners. Amid the turmoil, sparks of intimacy attempt to break through. Britt Westbourne boldly asks Jason Morgan out, and to her surprise and delight, he accepts. Their connection deepens, offering rare warmth in a town gripped by paranoia. Yet even romance carries risk. Someone begins backing Britt into a corner, and the pressure feels deliberate. Whether the threat comes from Sidwell, Mario, or another unseen hand, it is clear Britt has drawn dangerous attention. Jason, ever vigilant, grows increasingly concerned. His instincts warn him that Britt is standing too close to a fire she cannot see. Ava Jerome, flattered, targeted, and weaponized. Sonny Corinthos turns his focus toward Ava Jerome, knowing exactly which buttons to press. Flattery softens her defenses, just as it always has. Slowly, subtly, Sonny positions Ava as a pawn against Jen Sidwell, whether she realizes it or not. Sidwell, meanwhile, is losing patience. Drew Kane was meant to be useful, controllable, predictable. Instead, he has become volatile, public, and increasingly resistant. To Sidwell, that makes Drew a liability. And liabilities are dealt with. Whether Sidwell chooses removal through scandal, political destruction, or something far darker remains to be seen. What is certain is that Drew's days of protection are numbered. Threats, bargains, and the coming storm. As February sweeps approach, tensions escalate. Dalentine Cassadine and Sidwell circle one another, each weighing whether the other is more valuable as an ally or a sacrifice. Devil's bargains loom, and betrayal feels inevitable. Emma Scorpio confides her fears to Mac and Felicia, setting the stage for a potential rescue mission that could define the coming weeks. Brennan's suspicions of Director Cullum deepen, and the WSB's internal fractures widen. Willow, newly acquitted, contemplates her next move. Access to her children is her priority, but disentangling herself from Drew requires precision. One misstep could cost her everything. A reckoning begins. This is the true baptism, not of innocence, but of consequence. Port Charles stands at the edge of multiple reckonings. Encouragement and hope flicker in small moments of connection, while anger sharpens into threats behind closed doors. No one emerges clean. No one remains untouched. And as ghosts speak, guns wait, and alliances fracture, one truth becomes undeniable. Freedom, in Port Charles, is only the beginning of the punishment.